Hi, everyone, and welcome to StudioJake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me today on my vidcast, where I talk about multiple pop culture topics, including anime, comic books, television, and, of course, movies. But before I dive into the topic, please be sure to like this video, share it out to your friends, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal. I'm over 700, so I'm over halfway there. Any and all subscriptions help, so thank you to those who do. And if you're here just to casually watch, I appreciate you as well. Maybe not as much. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about a film franchise that I really enjoy, and that is Venom. Now, please note, I'm not saying that they're the Godfather or even the Dark Knight or Captain America Winter Soldier, but I just enjoy the Venom films. I think that they're fun, I think that they're a blast, and they're certainly of the Sony Spider-Man universe franchise films, they're the best. Morbius was, gee whiz, was a terrible movie. And, despite its hard R rating, I don't think Craven is going to be that good. Um, with Venom and Morbius, they kind of have like stories apart from their main hero and protagonist, which of course is Spider-Man for both of them. But Kraven the Hunter really doesn't. I know he's had some solo adventures, but really you can't do a Kraven film properly without Spider-Man. Venom, on the other hand, you can a little bit, though I think it's better if he's with Spider-Man. That being said, I am excited for Venom 3. I think it's going to be fun. I think that it's going to be a blast. We've got some information. Now, this movie has been teased by Tom Hardy since 2018. I will admit I was hoping that Andy Serkis would return to direct this movie. However, British screenwriter who has worked on the previous two Venom films, Kelly Marcel, she is going to be directing it. I have no reason to think that she will do a bad job. This is her first time directing. I'm willing to give her a chance. Like I said, she's familiar with the Venom films. It's not like they went out and got some weirdo indie director or some trendy director who isn't familiar with the franchise. She at least is familiar with the franchise. So I think we should give her a chance. I think we should give her a shot. Let's see how this movie plays out, because like I said, Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage were both fun films. They just embrace the chaos that makes that character what he is. And I hope that they'll do the same thing with this film. They won't try to be introspective and all this, and let's explore the duality of man with Venom, all that boring intellectualism crap. Let's just have a good time with Venom. Now, since they did Slasher as a symbiote, as kind of the symbiote antagonist for the first film, and then they did Carnage for this film, there's been a lot of speculation on who the villain will be. They kind of teased a villain at the end of Let There Be Carnage, but not very well, if I can be honest. I don't know who the antagonist could be. Now, if I was them, since Morbius is an established character in this universe, and now Vulture, because they brought in Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming into this universe, they kind of blamed what happened in No Way Home, which I think was kind of silly. I don't know why they just didn't make him like he's a variant, but whatever. They brought him over. What I would maybe tease is Morbius and Vulture in this film. That's one path they can take. That way it kind of shows how Venom is connected to the Sony Spider-Man universe. Now, originally this universe was called the Sony Marvel universe, but with the MCU, I guess they were worried about confusion, and Sony really only has the rights to Spider-Man characters. They've got a few connecting characters like Silver Sable. uh, I actually didn't know Silver Sable and the Wild Pack were connected to Spider-Man. I think they were just kind of folded in. But we'll see how that plays out. I do think it would be a good opportunity for them to introduce, since they've done two symbiotes already, it would be a good idea. And this is kind of building up to a Sinister Six film. This would be a good opportunity for them to introduce another Spider-Man antagonist, another villain that, might be, his powers might confuse Venom, since they did both the original version of Shocker and the ultimate version of Shocker in Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe they could go more back to the classic one, the Herman Schultz Shocker. His powers would certainly have an effect on Venom since he, uses wave air molecule vibration that's definitely related to sound. So that could be a way to throw off Venom, and then maybe at the end bring in Morbius and Vulture um, to add four to the Sinister Six. You know, and I know Craven is somehow going to be a part of this as well. Maybe that's what they should have done for the Craven the Hunter movie, is made it where he was hunting Venom. I think that would have been a good way to have this crossover and also bring in this. Now, to my knowledge, I don't think Morbius has ever been a part of the Sinister Six, but they could just be doing this as part of their broader universe. Sony's Spider-Man universe is very much, we're going to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So far, really only Venom has stuck. Morbius has been a failure. There's really no excitement for Craven, and their planned Silver Sable Black Cat crossover has there was so little excitement for it. It got canceled from Hulu. Imagine that. That's like something getting canceled at Netflix, right? You're always surprised, unless it's a good show like Mindhunter. You're always surprised. But they're planning a Spider-Woman movie at some, or that's a rumor. But they're also doing weird ones like Jackpot. Not really that. The Hypno Hustler, like a bunch of weird characters that no one cares about. I really hope they don't do that. I hope that perhaps that they'll do movies based on the heroes. Like, I could see a Silver Sable standalone film because she's a mercenary. She's kind of a gun for hire, and a merc. So they could potentially do a film with her. Maybe challenging, some of the organizations. Like the Magia, for instance. That's a Spider-Man crime syndicate. They could have like her taking on some element of them, and there are other organizations as well. The Gentleman, he kind of operates kind of like the Kingpin. He's in the shadows, operating all these different facets of crime. So I could see them potentially doing something like that. Maybe some more of Spider-Man's international villains. They could pull that in for Silver Sable. I could see them making things like that work, and going back to the Venom sequel, I wouldn't mind them, like I said, bringing in just an unknown antagonist for this film. Bring in something that maybe is unfamiliar, mixing it up a little bit. Now, my big question is, where is Spider-Man? They're calling this the Sony Spider-Man universe, right? But they're without their flagship character. And there's been so many rumors because in the trailer of Morbius, they kind of teased that Tobey Maguire was going to be the Spider-Man. There's a scene in the trailer where Morbius is walking in a street and you see a picture of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit kind of graffitied on a wall. And there's also been rumors, though, that they want to bring back Andrew Garfield, make him the Spider-Man of the universe. Now, if I was Sony Pictures, this is the time to strike. Disney's Marvel films are doing awful, and people are saying that there's superhero fatigue. I don't think that's exactly true. I think that there's just fatigue of bad superhero films. And they have this opportunity to at least bring a good alternative. So if I was them, instead of bringing in Peter Parker, since now Peter Parker is part of the MCU, I would maybe introduce Ben Reilly. Give him kind of a backstory, because Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter Parker, but they could make it where he maybe is just his cousin. Or they, because I know that's really, you don't want to get into the whole clone saga. It's very involved, although a shorter version of it was written later. It's called The Real Clone Saga, which I highly recommend. By the way, it's a good way to sum up the Clone Saga. And if they didn't want to go that route, just kind of say, or maybe make it where it's Peter Parker in disguise. Like maybe Peter Parker, he had to fake his death and start a new life, and so now he's Ben Reilly, and Ben Reilly is Spider-Man. Do something like that for it. like in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Peter Parker being blonde, the one that Miles Morales meets at the beginning of that film, he's that's Ben Riley. Ben Riley is blonde. So I would do something like that. And if you can't get in, although I think Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire would be good to return to the character, I could see there are other actors out there who could play a different kind of Spider-Man, who a more mature one than that is in the MCU. Because Tom Holland is still kind of, he graduated from high school, or at least got implied he's going to get his GED at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. So you could go a different route with the Sony Spider-Verse, make it way more interesting, and bring that all together. That's what I would do, because I really want to see Spider-Man fight Venom. Spider-Man 3 was very lackluster. It was not a good conclusion for, Spider-Man. And so I think that we could see it. Hey, if I was Sony, because apparently Disney is kind of resisting Tom Holland's pay raise. If I was Sony, I would offer Tom Holland a pay raise and bring him in to my Sony Spider-Man films. You can say it's a different universe. This is the Venom verse, which that was the original name for their Marvel franchise. It was originally called the Venom verse since it got its start there. But they want to really capitalize on having the rights to Spider-Man, and I think good for them. But they need their flagship character, and hopefully we'll get a tease for that in Venom 3. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.